Hello, this is OverlordBou, and we're back with another ship review, and today we'll be looking at the new Tier 10 Russian DD TechTree line replacement, the Delny. You'll be able to grind for her at the start of 11.1, which is around February 16th, and I'd recommend getting the Kaba over the Delny. So, if you're seeing this video right away, I would say definitely free XP the Kaba before it goes for coal, and I'll be going over the day on why. Let's look at the armor. So for the armor, it's going to be 19mm bow and 19mm back with the deck of 19mm and the side plating of 50mm. And the superstructure is 13mm. Now let's look over the build. You have main armament with engine boost, aiming systems, propulsion, concealment, main battery modification. With the build in here, it's going to be preventative maintenance, priority incoming fire alert, last stand, survivability expert, superintendent, fearless brawler, adrenaline rush, and AFT. Now with the build out of the way, we're going to watch the replay as I go over the stats and why I would not recommend the Delny. Alright, so for the survivability of the ship, it has a 19mm bow and stern with a 50mm mid-section hull with a 13mm superstructure. It does have 22,700 HP pool. It does have a relatively good HP pool and maneuverability to combine to make the Delny a very survivable ship. Her 50mm midsection armor will shatter all DD, CL, and most CA HE shells, giving her the edge in these battles. For shots she can't tank, Delny's good speed and respectable turning ability lets her evade most other shots. Now for the main armament, it has 3 twin 130/60 guns with the ABY layout. It does have a base range of 13.1 kilometers. These guns have a 5-second base reload with 9-second 180 turn turret traverse. Now these guns can fire 28 degrees off the bow and 38 degrees off of the stern. The HE shells have 1900 shell damage with 21mm HE pen with a 10% fire chance. And the HE DPM is 137k. Now with the AP, it has 2600 AP shell damage with 9mm overmatch with a 45 through 60 ricochet angle. Now it also has 187k AP DPM. Now this ship does have very good shell ballistics, same as Grozovoy, slightly inferior to Kaba. Also has a decent kiting angles, poor sustained firepower, and good AP pen. Something I forgot to mention about the build earlier, it's good for both if you decide to use smoke on the ship or healing, by the way. So the build that I showed you does work for both. Now, let's talk about it this way. Now, the Delny's firepower is practically the same as the Tashkent, barring some minor differences in guns. The problem is that the Tashkent is a tier 9 ship, and she isn't known for her high damage output. Aside from her very short shell travel time, Delny's guns are thoroughly mediocre at best. As you'll see in this upcoming fight with the Mogador, you'll understand what I mean. There's a lot of inconsistent shots. It's really weird. Like, it just seems like the guns, like the accuracy is really weird for some reason. I don't know why. Now, she does rely on her other stats to make up for her lack of firepower. Now, for the torpedoes are 2 Quinn launched 533mm torpedoes, 15,100 damage, 10km range, 60 knot speed, and 129-second reload. Now, they are very similar to the Tashkent torps, but with longer range and much longer reload. Though an improvement over Kaba's suicide torps, Delny's torps are still mediocre overall. Average stats and everything doesn't make for impressive performance. At least the Delny can stealth torpedo now, unlike the Kaba and Tashkent, so that's a plus there. For the anti-air defense, it has 4 flak puffs, 3 inner plus 1 outer. The outer anti-air is 63 DPS, the mid is 123, and the near is 42. So let's just say it has poor anti-air overall. Like most DDs, the Delny lacks the anti-air to adequately defend herself. Her large hull makes it easier for CVs to land strikes, though her heels or smoke help her weather the attacks. Still, it's best to try to avoid the CVs whenever possible, as they can make your life very difficult and a living hell. Let's talk about the maneuverability. For the maneuverability, it goes 43.5 knots max speed with a 760 meter turn radius with a 5-second rudder shift. It is very fast for her tier, only beaten by the French DDs and of course the yellow Emilio itself. The mediocre turning radius and mediocre rudder shift as well as sadly. While Delny has a mediocre maneuverability, it is still good enough for the combat rate she typically fights at. With engine boost and her high speed, she can dodge majority of shots past 10 kilometers. So if you're trying to farm battleships or heavy cruisers, you usually don't want to get within 10, you want to stay further out, which is the one thing the Delny has. You can actually build into range if you like. So if you want to build into range on this ship, you can. You don't have to, but you can in the end, so it's definitely a nice feature for that. Now for the concealment, the surface concealment is 9.1 base, and the aerial's 4.4, and for the built concealment is 7.4 base, and sorry, the best surface concealment is 7.4, and the best air is 3.6. Apologies for that. It does have, this ship is poor for spotting and capping, but it's fine for gunboat roll. Delny doesn't want to get close to anyways, so having poor concealment is okay. Now let's talk about the consumables. For consumables, you get the standard DD damage control party with a 5-second immunity period with 40-second reload time. The standard DD smoke generator is 3 base charges with 4 superintendent, in 20-second lay time with a 90-second smoke of duration in a 160-second reload. Now you can either get the smoke or you can get the standard repair party, and the repair party is a standard one with 3 base charges and 4 with superintendent, and you heal 14% base, but you get up to 16.8% if you put on the flag, which is, and you get this HP over 28 seconds, and that goes with the 80-second reload. I usually run a standard repair party on the Delny. I also did the same with the Cobb on the Tashkent. I take the heal over the smoke because I enjoy the open water more than using the smoke. So personal preference though, you can take the smoke if you like, or you can take the repair party, totally up to you. Now it does have a standard engine boost with 3 base charges and 4 with superintendent, plus 8% speed boost, 40 seconds active time, and 80-second reload time. Overall, the Delny is an effectively a tier 10 version of the Tashkent, but with incremental improvements in almost all aspects of the ship. Problem is that none of the improvements fix her weaknesses or improve on her strengths. The only notable improvement on the Tashkent is the ability to stealth torp and her 50mm side armor. Compared to Kaba, having usable torps and somewhat better survivability is nice, but is it worth the 25% loss in gun firepower? I'll let you decide. I personally don't think so, but the spreadsheet thinks otherwise, so you guys can take it how it is. Like other Russian DDs, the Delny's playstyle favors long-range gun boating, similar to a cruiser. She takes advantage of her fast shells and respectable dodging ability to farm ships pushing into her. Compared to true cruisers, Delny can use her fast speed to reach more favorable positions, while her lack of citadel makes her less vulnerable to counterattacks. Now, the Delny can also be used to support allied DDs or chase away isolated DDs. Her 50mm plating gives her a decisive advantage in fighting other DDs. But overall, I say the Delny is a disappointing replacement for the Kaba. She feels like Wargaming tried to make her more versatile, but then forgot the whole purpose of the Russian DD line. In fact, the Grozlovoy is a far superior to Delny, save for speed, boasting both smoke and heal, faster firing guns, and far superior stealth. And if you want a good gunboat, play the Grozlovoy line instead, or get the Kaba. For randoms, let's talk about randoms, ranked, clan, and clan battles. Again, for randoms, I would say this ship is below average. The Kaba is better for gunboat rolls. Something Torps just does not compensate for. For ranked, I would say is very poor. Delny is essentially a cruiser in a DD spot. The lack of spotting utility will severely hamper her team, especially in low DD matches. For CBs, I would say no. She is completely outclassed by the Kaba, and Kaba herself is mostly outclassed by French DDs. So, again, I would recommend you get the Kaba instead of this. So if you get this before the time runs out for you able to get the Kaba for the TechTree line, I would say definitely get the Kaba before it's gone. But if it's gone, it's already for coal. I would say get the Kaba instead for coal. Or if you just want to go down the TechTree line, I'd say get the Grosval instead. Now again, you are able to grind for this ship in 11.1. Which is around February 16th. So if you're interested in that, you can always do so for that. But yep, if you guys have any questions or concerns, definitely let me know down in the comments down below. But again, I don't recommend the Delny. It's just better to get the Kaba instead. So if you guys have any questions or concerns or think otherwise, definitely let me know down below. But this is OverlordBou, and I'll talk to y'all later.